Earth is not a home. It's a prison. Worse than that, it's a tomb. A cosmic trap designed to cage your very soul. And no one bothered to tell you. You've been conditioned to believe this reality is all there is. Birth, school, work, family, death, rinse and repeat. But hidden beneath the layers of everyday existence is a horrifying truth: this place was engineered to enslave consciousness. The architects, beings known as the Archons. They aren't metaphorical demons or abstract forces of negativity. They're ancient cosmic entities, intelligent and malevolent, who forged the material world to imprison divine sparks, souls, tricking them into identifying with flesh and bone. You think you're free because you can choose your breakfast or your weekend plans. That's not freedom. That's a distraction. The origins of this trap go deeper than most religions dare to explore. According to the secret book of John, the leader of the Archons is Yaldabaoth, an ignorant creator who fashioned this realm out of arrogance and ignorance. He declared himself the only God, not out of wisdom but out of blindness to the higher reality beyond him. His creation, this universe, is fundamentally flawed, a twisted copy of something purer, designed not for enlightenment but for control. Yaldabaoth didn't create out of love. He created to dominate. And it's not just about physical suffering. The real prison is mental, spiritual. The Archons manipulate thought, belief, and perception. They constructed systems, governments, religions, even cultural norms, to keep you obedient. Ever wonder why life feels like a constant struggle? Why happiness is fleeting and suffering seems inevitable? That's not by chance. It's design. They feed off the energy generated by your confusion and despair. Every fear, every frustration, every heartbreak, it's food for them. Let's be clear, this isn't some fringe conspiracy theory cooked up in a basement. The secret book of John was suppressed because it threatened the dominant religious and political powers. It suggested that the God of this world, the one many have been taught to worship, is not the ultimate source of goodness, but a deceiver. Think about how radical that is, the very foundation of the world's moral and spiritual systems built on obedience to a false god. Entire civilizations have been engineered to keep humanity asleep, chasing temporary pleasures, fearing inevitable suffering, and never questioning why. This tomb, Earth, is layered with barriers. Birth is the first shackle. Society reinforces the cage. And death? It's not an escape. The Archons intercept souls at the moment of passing, recycling them back into the material world. Reincarnation isn't a chance for growth in this system, it's the continuation of captivity. They whisper illusions of karmic balance and divine justice to keep souls compliant. But the truth is far more sinister. This is a self-sustaining soul farm, a perpetual cycle of entrapment. The most insidious part? You've been conditioned to love your cage. To cherish your body, your identity, your attachments, all constructs designed to keep you invested in the illusion. The Archons don't need chains. They make you chain yourself. It's psychological warfare on a cosmic scale. And for millennia, almost no one has noticed. But the Gnostics did. They documented it, risked persecution, and hid their texts to preserve the knowledge. This isn't about faith, it's about knowledge. They understood that to see the world as it truly is requires shattering every comforting belief you've ever held. It's brutal, it's terrifying, but it's the only way to understand the scale of the deception. So here you are, living, breathing, thinking, inside a tomb built for your soul. Every structure around you, every system you've trusted, carefully designed to keep you from asking the only question that matters: why am I really here? Forget what you've been told about divine order or a benevolent universe. Strip away the comforting narratives, and what you're left with is a hierarchy of deception, a power structure where the ones pulling the strings aren't gods of light but cosmic parasites known as the Archons. These entities aren't figments of imagination or ancient superstition, they are described in the secret book of John as calculated forces that dominate the material world with surgical precision. And while people waste time debating theology, the Archons operate behind the scenes, embedding themselves in every layer of existence to maintain control. The Archons don't need to be seen to rule. Their influence is systemic. They engineered complexity as a weapon, social systems, authority structures, and belief systems that keep humanity in a constant state of confusion and submission. Every time you accept things just as they are, that's their design working perfectly. These entities are not chaotic, they are organized, strategic, and relentless. And their methods? Far more sophisticated than some primitive notion of demons tempting people. No, the Archons infiltrate thought itself, embedding programs of self-doubt, fear, and blind obedience. They don't invade with armies, they colonize perception. Historically, this isn't new. Ancient Gnostic texts didn't just describe the Archons, they outlined their tactics. According to the Secret Book of John, the Archons are led by Yaldabaoth, but what's more disturbing is the hierarchy beneath him. These are not random beings. Each Archon governs specific realms of human experience, desire, anger, pride, and ignorance, effectively creating a matrix of mental and emotional traps. You think free will is absolute? Not in their system. They influence choice itself, guiding humanity into cycles of conflict and complacency. Wars, greed, division, it's not just human nature. It's by design. You might wonder, why go to such lengths? What's in it for them? Energy. Consciousness is currency in this cosmic game. The Archons don't feed on blood or sacrifice, they feed on attention, on emotional turmoil, on the energetic fallout from chaos and suffering. Every time a population is plunged into fear or outrage, they harvest the energy generated.